Hey, peace, love and light to you all, family. Welcome to another YouTube video with me, your host, Mathix. Now, I've got exciting news. I've got exciting news for those of you who enjoy or who grew up enjoying reading the Bible, but now later on in life came into spirituality, but still feel drawn towards the Bible and are looking to understand the Bible in a different way. So I'm going to be making short videos where we break down stories in the Bible, but then we explain the esoteric side of things, the deeper meaning as to what these stories meant or what these stories were talking about in the Bible. Because you have to look at the Bible as being allegories, as it says in Galatians 14. If you read Galatians 14, and also if you read the first chapter of Proverbs, it says that these things were dark sayings. In the book of Proverbs, it says, "Do you know how to tell the dark sayings, the words of the wise, the ancient ones?" Do you know how dark sayings, the word dark saying means a hidden meaning, a parable. And it also says that in Galatians, where it says that for these things were an allegory, so they weren't literal per se. So now we're going to be having these particular short videos where I break down certain Bible stories and show you how that or show you how these stories relate to you as an individual in the 21st century, how those mythological stories still apply to you. So the first story that we're going to be looking at today is the story of Abraham and the sacrifice that he had to make up on the mountain of his son Issac. Now, if you want to learn how to decode Bible stories, the first thing that you're going to have to do is break down the words of what these people's names were. So for an example, you have to look at the main characters in the story. That would be Isaac. You have to look at what the word Isaac means. You'd have to look at what Abraham means. You'd have to look at the symbology of where they were. Did they go down a valley? Because then that would be you going down in consciousness. Or did they go up a mountain? That would be you going up in consciousness, like how Jesus got crucified in Golgotha, or how Moses went up the mountain to go get the 10 commandments. So the story of Abraham in summary is that he couldn't have children for a very long time, and God promised him that, "Hey Joe, you shall bear children, you shall be the father of all nations." In fact, that's what the word Abraham means. Abraham means father of multitudes or father of nations. And when you look at the word Abraham in Hinduism or in the East, they also speak about a being called Brahma. Brahma is Abraham. What they call Brahma, the high father, in the East, it's Abraham. If you play around with those words, you'll see that Abraham will lead to how Brahma is spelled, and Brahma is Abraham, because they even have the same meaning. Brahma means the father of all, just as Abraham is the father of all nations. So God promised Abraham, saying that, "Hey Joe, you shall bear children, you shall be the father of all nations." So that was the promise that was given to him, and it took a long time for him to have a child. But once he had a child, he named him Isaac, right? Now the word Isaac, it means laughter and joy. That's what that means. It means laughter and joy. So let's break this down. Who is God in this story? God is your own inner consciousness. God is your awareness. God is self. That's who God is. So God tells Abraham means father. "Our Father who art in heaven, hallowed be thy name." Whenever you see father in the Bible, most of the time it represents the brain. It represents the higher parts of you, because this is where the decision making takes place. When they say that the father is the head of the house, the father is the head because he's the brain. The mother is the earth. The neck down, that's the mother, the earth. This is where things manifest. So the father is the thought, he's the ideas, he's the intentions, and then the mother is that which supports the head. So she is the lower. The father is the air and the fire. The mother is the water and the earth. So the father is the high place, Abraham, the father. So the brain, God says, consciousness says to the brain, hey, you, Abraham, father, higher cherubims, higher cerebrum, take your son, Isaac, take laughter and joy. Take that which gives you laughter and joy on the earth, your pleasures, your passions and your desires. Take those things up the mountain. The mountain always represents consciousness. It represents the head, where you have to ascend up into yourself. So you ascend through consciousness. You ascend, you climb the mountain to go receive the commandments, or you climb the mountain to go get tested. You get tested. So God says, climb up the mountain, take your son Isaac, take that which gives you pleasure and joy in the physical, take it up to the mountain and sacrifice it. Sacrifice it. And so Abraham in the story, he takes his son up the mountain, and then as he's sacrificing that which gives him laughter and joy in the physical to prove his faith to God, that whole scene, or the sacrifice, then is replaced by a ram. A ram. Now, in astrology, the ram represents the head. It's the first sign of the zodiac. It's Aries. Aries is the head. Aries ruled by Mars. It's the head. It's the higher part. So that's what they were talking about. The mountain, the ram on the mountain, it represents the head. So they say that you shall be born again by what? By the renewing of your mind. So that's what was happening to him. Consciousness, the brain was being renewed by taking the lower passions and sacrificing them so that a new consciousness could be born again. Because even before Abraham was called Abraham, his name was Abram, and then it later became Abraham. This is something you see all throughout the Bible, where someone has a name and then it changes, just as Paul was named Saul before he changed. Who's this guy? Jacob. Eh? Eh? Uyangbiza? Jama ngisesebhizi. Uthini Ermaw? Ngiyeza, ngisesebhizi. So this man took me off track. Let me see. I was talking about Jacob. I'm gonna punch him in the face. But there's many stories throughout the Bible where you see characters change their name from one to another name. So that represents the changing of consciousness, or the coming into a different state. You were once this person, and then you change to this person. So this is what this story was talking about. You taking your lower passions, taking your lusts, your the things that you think give you happiness, and you sacrifice them for true spiritual happiness. And so you have to climb the mountain. Climbing the mountain is symbolic for enlightenment and consciousness, because when you are high upon the mountain, you have a bird's eye view. You can see the whole land. You can see everything. So that means that now you have expanded in consciousness. So you have to take you as Abraham, as Abba. Abba means father. Ham is black. So Ham, that's also that, what? Light comes from what? Light comes from the darkness. The word Ham means, it means black. That's why they call the black people the children of Ham. But then that's another story for another day. So you have to, or a Kem, which is the ancient word for Egypt, which is Kemet, black, the black land. So you have to take that which makes you happy, take it up to the mountain, and then you sacrifice it so that a new consciousness is resurrected from within you. So that's the story of Abraham and Isaac in a nutshell. Obviously, these stories, it's longer. I'm just giving you a summary here. So until we do the next one. And also, you can, in the comment section, you could just tell me a story that you would like for me to decode, and then we're going to look into it in a much more deeper esoteric level and see what it is that it means. Otherwise, peace, love, and light to you all, family. Much love.